today we're going to be reading 3 books. So let's go ahead and read our first book. It is, let me share. It is Brown Bear, What Do You See? By Eric Carle. Brown Bear, what do you see? Brown Bear, what do you see? I see a red bird looking at me. Red bird, what do you see? I see a yellow duck looking at me. Yellow duck, what do you see? I see a blue horse looking at me. Blue horse, what do you see? I see a green frog looking at me. Green frog, what do you see? I see a purple cat looking at me. Purple cat, what do you see? I see a white dog looking at me. White dog, what do you see? I see a black sheep looking at me. Black sheep, what do you see? I see a goldfish looking at me. Goldfish, what do you see? I see a teacher looking at me. Teacher, what do you see? I see children looking at me. Children, what do you see? We see a brown bear, a red bird, a yellow duck, a blue horse, a green frog, a purple cat, a white dog, a black sheep, a goldfish, and a teacher looking at us. That's what we see.
Oh,
Okay, let's see it. All right, let's read another book. We're going to read this one now. The Bad Seed. Uh-oh. The Bad Seed. I'm a bad seed. A bad seed. Oh yeah, it's true. The other seeds, they look at me and say, that seed is so bad. When they think I'm not listening, they mumble, there goes that bad seed. But I can hear them. I have good hearing for a seed. How bad am I? You really want to know? Well, I never put things back where they belong. Oh, he never puts the cart back in the cart return. I'm late to everything. I tell long jokes with no punchlines. I never wash my hands or my feet. Ooh, gross. I lie about pointless stuff. I cut in line every time. Those are all very bad things. I stare at everybody. I glare at everybody. No, he made the baby cry. I finish everybody's sentences and I never listen. And I do lots of other bad things too. Know why? Because I'm a bad seed. A bad seed. So he's playing drums at the library. That's not very nice. I just can't help it. Sure, I wasn't always this bad. I was born a humble seed on a simple sunflower in an unremarkable field. I had a big family, seeds everywhere. We found ways of having fun. We were close. Here's the seeds, all of his family. But then the petals dropped and our flower dropped. Oh no, all the seeds are falling off the flower. It's kind of a blur. I remember a bag. Fresh sunflower seeds, delicious. Uh-oh. Everything went dark. And then a giant. So a giant is eating the sunflower seeds. But it's really just a person is eating the sunflower seeds. I thought I was a goner. I thought I was done for. I screamed and hollered, ah! But I was spit out at the last possible second. Poof! I flew through the air and I landed under the bleachers with a huge thud. When I woke up, it was dark outside. A wad of gum had softened my fall. I felt okay, but something had changed in me. I'd become a different seed entirely. I became a bad seed. Uh-oh. A bad seed. That's right. I stopped smiling. I kept to myself. I drifted. I was friendly to nobody and bad to everybody. I was lost on purpose. I lived in a soda can and I didn't care. It suited me. Uh-oh, he's bad seed now and he lives in the soda can. Until recently, I've made a big decision. I've decided I don't want to be a bad seed anymore. I'm ready to be happy. It's so hard to be good when you're so used to being bad. But I'm trying. I'm taking it one day at a time. Sure, I still forget to listen, and I still show up late, and I still talk during movies, and I do all kinds of bad stuff. Okay, let's see. But I also say thank you, and I say please, and I smile, and I hold doors open for people. Not always, but sometimes. And even though I still feel bad, sometimes I also feel kind of good. It's sort of a mix. All I can do is keep trying and keep thinking. And maybe I'm not a bad seed after all. So the seed says thank you when he gets his ice cream and please, and he smiles and he opens a door for people. So he's kind of a good seed now. Hey, look, there goes that bad seed. Actually, he's not all that bad anymore. I heard that. The end. Okay, let's read our other book. We're going to read our Caps for Sale. And there's a man sleeping here and all these cats. Caps for sale. Look at all the caps he's wearing. That's too many for his head. Once there was a peddler who sold caps, but he was not like an ordinary peddler, carrying his wares on his back. He carried them on top of his head. First, he had on his own checked cap, then a bunch of gray caps, and a bunch of brown caps, and a bunch of blue caps, and at the very top, a bunch of red caps. He walked up and down the streets, holding himself very straight, so as not to upset his caps. As he went along, he called, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." He's selling his caps, which are hats, for 50 cents. One morning, he couldn't sell any caps. He walked up the street and he walked down the street, calling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." But nobody wanted any caps that morning. Nobody even wanted a red cap. He began to feel very hungry, but he had no money for lunch. "I think I'll go for a walk in the country," he said. And he walked out of town slowly, slowly, as to not upset his caps. So he's going to walk down into this town with all the hats on his head. He walked for a long time until he came to a great big tree. "That's a nice place for a rest," he thought. And he sat down very slowly under the tree and leaned back little by little against the tree trunk so as not to disturb the caps on his head. Then he put up his hand to feel if they were straight. First he checked his own checked cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, and at the very top, the red caps. They were all there, so he went to sleep. He slept for a long time. When he woke up, he was refreshed and rested. Uh-oh, what's missing? What's missing from the picture? Let's see. But before standing up, he felt with his hand to make sure his caps were in the right place. All he felt was his own checked cap. Oh no, where did all the other caps go? Are they behind the tree? Are they in the water? Where are all the other hats? Let's find out. He looked to the right of him. No caps. He looked to the left of him. No caps. And he looked in the back of him. No caps. He looked behind the tree. No caps. Where are they? Where are the caps? They're nowhere to be found. Then he looked up into the tree. And what do you think he saw? What do you think he saw in the tree? On every branch sat a monkey. On every monkey was a gray or brown or blue or a red cap. So who took all their hats? The monkeys took all the caps. We have our red caps. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have our brown hats. 1, 2, 3, 4. And our gray caps. 1, 2, 3, 4. And the blue caps. 1, 2, 3, 4. They took all of the caps from the man. The peddler looked at all the monkeys. The monkeys looked at the peddler. He didn't know what to do. Finally, he spoke to them. So he's going to tell the monkeys. What is he going to tell the monkeys? You monkeys, you, he said, shaking a finger at them. You give me my caps back. But the monkey only shook their fingers back at him. Tis, tis, tis. Uh-oh. Let's see if the monkeys are going to give back the caps. This made the peddler angry. So he shook both his hands at them and said, You monkey, you, give me back my caps. But the monkeys only shook both their hands back at him and said, Tis, 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 tis. So they're copying him. They're copying what he's doing. Now he felt quite angry, and he stomped his foot and said, You monkeys, you better give me back my caps. But the monkeys only stamped their feet back at him. Tis, tis, tis. So he stomped his feet, and the monkeys stomped their feet too. By this time, the peddler was really very, very angry. He stamped both of his feet and shouted, You monkeys, you must give me back my caps. But the monkeys only stamped their feet back at him. Tis, tis, tis. At last, he became so angry that he pulled off his own cap and threw it on the ground and began to walk away. So he's really mad and he took his own cap off. Where is he going to go? But then each monkey pulled off his cap. All the monkeys are taking their hats off. And all the gray caps, and all the brown caps, and all the blue caps, and all the red caps came flying down out of the tree. So all of the hats are falling. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4 gray hats. 1, 2, 3, 4 blue hats. 1, 2, 3, 4 brown hats. And 1, 2, 3, 4 red hats. Let's see what happens. So the peddler picked up his caps and put them back on his head. First his own checked cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, and then the red caps on the very top. And now look, he's wearing all the hats at the end. And slowly, slowly, he walked back to town calling, Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap. So he's going to sell all of his caps back on his head. Okay, very good. Let's keep reading. What is another story we can read? Let's read this story. Okay, This says, Vincent can't sleep. Vincent can't sleep. Vincent can't sleep. So while the sturdy Dutch village of sundered slumbers, he lies rocking in his wooden cradle, flame-haired, a constellation of freckles sprinkling on his cheeks. His shining eyes change color, first blue, then green, and dart after pink and yellow starlight shapes that twinkle on the ceiling. Vincent can't sleep. Mother will fuss. Father will frown. He might wake his little brother Theo. In half light, his pencil drawings flicker on the slopping beams of their attic room. Carrying laced up leather boots, he tiptoes down narrow pine stairs, turns the front latch, inching the door open to a wild of shimmer of midnight air. Vincent can't sleep. Out, 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 he runs, flying through the garden, marigold, blackberry and raspberry, past the church with its tall steeple, down rolling hills and sandy paths meant for sheep. He dives at last into the velvety violet heat, snuggles under a blanket of a sapphire sky, and looks up, up to visit with the stars. Vincent can't sleep. Away at boarding school in bigger towns, Zensburg, Tilburg, dull classes, colorless teachers, rainbowed memories of home. While other students study, play, and laugh together, Vincent draws, writes, and sighs, alone. He runs into the soothing darkness and is brought back to harsh light over and over again. Vincent can't sleep. Though he's grown working in gleaming cities, The Hague, London, Paris, he stocks and sells paintings in his uncle's fashionable galleries. Excited, bored, eager, lazy, explosive, and shy, his many-colored moods scare the customers, and he's forced to go. Vincent can't sleep. Wandering west in England, south in Belgium, teaching, shopkeeping, preaching, his letters fill with roadside scenes, peasants and thunderclouds inked along the way. Now he calls himself an artist. The neighbors whisper, his family worries. Is Vincent lost? He drifts hundreds of miles in a tattered hat and cloak, framing haloed sunsets with charcoal-stained hands. So now he's going to draw pictures as an artist. Vincent can't sleep and won't stop painting. He's found his light, and after scattered lessons from proper artists, he takes off canvas and paint strapped to his back. So he's going off into the world to paint. Flashing brush strokes capture country cottages at dusk, city cafes at midnight, canvas after canvas like radiant chapters in a book only Vincent can read. So he's painting this house. He discovers that darkness is not plain black. Galaxies of color float on the night air. Vincent can't sleep. Shut tight in a hospital, told to rest as dark hills wave past his window. First blue, then green. He pictures a snuggling village. a flaming cypress tree, a tall steeple pointing up, 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 and waits for morning when he's allowed to paint and ask himself wild questions. Does darkness have a texture? Thick, thin. Does it have a rhythm? Quick, slow. Is the night sky at rest? Or do 11 stars pulse like a beating heart? Then his painting stands finished, a whirling moonlight dream, reflecting the warm sun, bold and infinite, like the wandering Milky Way, strange and restless, like Vincent himself, a sensitive boy, a hidden genius, a brilliant artist, the one who knows best the many colors of the night. Look at this moon, and we have a tree and wind and stars, and we have a city, and Vincent painted this. Shh, Vincent is asleep. All right, I think we have time for one more. Do we have time for this one? Who is this? Moana, the mighty Maui, makes a friend. Let me tell you a story about the mighty Maui. You've heard of him, right? Half man, half myth, all hero. Well, today must be your lucky day because that's the hero is me, Maui, the greatest demigod in the Pacific. With my magical fish hook, I've done incredible things. I pushed up the sky so humans could walk upright. I slowed down the sun so people could get more work done. I captured the wind and the fire. I pulled up islands and even helped created coconuts. Yeah, you're welcome. Oh, and I can also change my shape. Super cool shark coming right up. Awesome gigantic hawk. Thought you'd never ask. Itsy bitsy also awesome bug. Done. So watch where you step. I used to live on my very own private island, all by myself. Being alone wasn't so bad. I didn't have to share my dinner. I could tell myself my favorite story a million times. P.S. It was about me. But then one day I realized there was one thing that the mighty Maui had yet to do. Be a friend. Then Moana showed up and it was Maui friendship time. Naturally, I became an expert at being a friend. And I found out some of friendship's most mysterious rules right away. For example, it turns out friends have to be nice to each other. Friends need to have each other's backs. And when the going gets tough, friends never, ever leave each other stranded. In no time, I was becoming the greatest friend of all time. You see, friends teach each other new things, like me teaching Moana how to be the world's second best wayfinder. Friends share. Hey, when you're a master fisherman, you can spare a fish or two. Friends listen. Between us, even a demigod who has had experienced it all can discover something new. Having a friend means you've got someone to cheer you on. It also means you have someone who accepts you for you. I learned that from Moana. Moana and I, together as friends, went on an epic adventure and basically saved the world. And the mighty Maui finally added friendship to his list of feats. Thanks for listening to my story. Now you can call yourself my friend too. Very good. Okay, thank you for being on Storytime. Okay, I hope you have a good day, okay? Bye-bye.